When a strong man armed keepeth his fortified palace, his property, his goods, souls, people are in peace. The peace that we experience when we're unconverted. The peace of being an atheist. The peace of being an unbeliever. The peace of being away from God, unconverted. What sort of peace is that? That's what we'll be talking about. The peace of a stagnant pool. It's lifeless. It's still, but there's all sorts of putrefaction in that pool. The peace of a silent factory. Has no business anymore. It's gone bankrupt. It doesn't produce. Its equipment isn't operating. Its conveyor belts are not carrying anything. The people are not there. It's empty. It's silent. You could wander about in it. Peace. But what a peace. Nothing's being produced. Nothing is happening. And that is the kind of peace which is my life if I'm unconverted. Nothing for God. Nothing going on in the soul. No walk with God. No answered prayer. No learning. No experience. No blessing from Him. Nothing. The peace of a deserted factory. The peace of a fallow farm. A farmer couldn't get a profit. He's abandoned his fields. He's left it all. It's going to rot. Nothing's functioning. The peace, oh, there's a kind of peace. But it's a pretty rotten peace. And it spells doom and tragedy and heartache for someone. This is the peace of atheism, the peace of unbelief. It's the peace of a thief operating by night. He enters your house silently. He searches for things so skillfully and silently, and he's gone, and you don't know. And when you wake up, the place has been rifled, and precious things are missing. And he was very selective. He only took what was of real value, and it was a night of peace. That's your soul. It's being raided. And your heart, your feelings, your affections, and your mind, and your thinking, and your will, your volitional capacity that determines what you do. All these aspects of you are doing nothing for the soul. You're just in the grip of the world, and you're happy that way. It's this kind of unproductive peace. I read of a ship, and it was in harbour, and for some reason it wasn't being allowed to leave. I don't know whether it hadn't paid dues or something. And there was the crew on board that ship just keeping things going ashore, getting provisions, feeding themselves, going through the motions, endlessly cleaning the ship, making sure everything worked. For what purpose? It wasn't going to go anywhere because somebody wasn't producing the harbour money, and it wasn't going to be released or allowed to go. That's your life if you've never been converted. Keep things moving, keep things in motion, but you're not going anywhere. You're not going to heaven. You're not walking with God. You're not making any deep discoverings. Your character isn't improving. You're not getting better, but rather worse. Yet you're at peace in this situation. Peace. The peace of unawareness. Not knowing about spiritual things. You're just not aware. Between the two world wars, I don't like talking about this really, because this is about the Germany of the past, we hope, not the Germany of the present. But between the two world wars, there was peace. But it was a very shallow peace and a very ominous peace. And to shrewd observers, it was obvious that things weren't right in Germany. There was massive discontent and bitterness, particularly with the hierarchy, about the loss of World War I. There was tremendous hunger for empire. Empire's never a good thing. Jealousy of the British Empire. And I'm not speaking for the British Empire. Oh, they wanted one too. They wanted to wrest it from us if they could. And Germany became, between the wars, extremely military. And even the little children were being paraded up and down at school and clicking their heels and responding to martial anthems and so on. Everything had a military flavour. Something terrible was brewing. It only needed a Hitler, a madman, in the middle of this. And there were certain people sounding the warning. Here in Britain, Churchill, of course, is very well known for this, but there were others at the opposite end of the political spectrum, here and there, also giving their warnings. And nobody would listen to them. They were saying, can't you see things are being built up for war? Can't you see everything is building and preparing in the national psyche, in the military preparations? Be quiet, you're a warmonger, we don't want to listen to you. And people embarked on crazy rounds of fun and business and so on, until it came. The peace of unawareness, the peace of not seeing what was going on, the peace of not being alert. That's like you if you're not converted in relation to God. You don't know about the soul. You don't know about the devil. You don't know about judgment. You don't know about hell. You don't know about Christ and his mercy and his kindness and the lengths to which he's gone to make a way of salvation so that he can pardon and forgive and draw people to himself. You don't know the consequences of ignoring him. You don't know the growing effect of sin in your life. You're like we were in Britain between the two wars. The vast majority of people paying no attention, no heed. The peace of unawareness. What sort of peace is that, friends? That lasts only for a time. And then at the end of life's journey, you've got to face up to it all. Where you stand, where you're going. That you've got to give account before God. And you've left it too late. And the devil has brought you down. And you've been lived out life in his clutches and under his influence. The peace of unawareness.